computer. Here we go. Okay. Thank you for being here. What's going down? Okay, so tonight I'm going to talk, basically I just titled it Conversation School, because I'm going to cover like 3 major points. But the overall consensus is going to be about the conversations and how we're being in and out of our conversations with potential clients, with our current clients, what our inboxes look like, how our energy looks when we're going into this, and basically what we can do to kind of shake off or like brush off any of that old static stuff that's not serving us. If you are not at a place in your business where you want to be right now, say you wanted to be somewhere like more farther along in something, you want to be somewhere else, that is something that you can easily just shake off, brush off, and we can run forward right from there, right on out, put a line in the sand and get started and go forward today, being a completely different business owner and a completely different business and team that you are and you are a part of. So even before we get started, maybe just sitting for a minute and envisioning what a team to you means. Like, what does your team look like when you sit back and think about it? Does your team look like just a bunch of like badass girls, clients, and like doing fitness workouts? Otherwise, do you have like a team of business women who are leaving their jobs and they want to actually build the business, and the fitness is just a nice, easy piece because it's something we all want to do for ourselves, the health and wellness, but we don't take the time to do it. So if you monetize it, make it your job, you have to, because otherwise you're not doing your job. And then also you get to help other women do the same thing. So you're in turn forcing this healthy wellness lifestyle on it, similar to how McDonald's forces their food by having it everywhere, billboards everywhere. And that's just the easy to go, right? That's what people think. So similar to how that's being forced, to a point of this is how we're like being forced. So kind of sitting back and looking at like, what does your team look like? Like, do you want just 2 people who are your best friends and you're a team of 3 just running together and racing each other to the next milestone or the next goal that you have? Are you looking for a team of like beginners where there's actually like 10 of you and you just have each of you maybe 1 friend with you, and there's just like a group of you that's small but mighty, if that makes sense. So kind of thinking about like what your team looks like and what you want it to be. Because I've gone through these seasons of being like, I'm a 5-star coach. And I say that because I knew that I wanted 5 women alongside of me working. And so that meant that I was going to do my part and build my business and maybe build my husband's business and even my second CBC. So I would be 3-star all on my own, or 2-star would be on my own. So that means I only have 3 other diamond coaches, which is fine, because that also meant that I would still have those 2 other coaches working alongside me, but maybe they're not a diamond yet, or maybe they lost their diamond, or whatever that looks like. So that's kind of where my like shift would start in my vision planning, is that I wanted 5 women. 5 women sounded good. I love that number. It felt good for me. And then it kind of evolved into this 15-star team. And the reason it evolved into 15 women, and not even 15-star, it was just 15 leaders. Kind of like I mentioned earlier, like 15 leaders, because I don't need them all to be diamond, or even, maybe just working their way to emerald, or maybe just doing the business at their own pace, doing what feels good for them. So it kind of changed from 5-star team to 15 leaders. And that looks different in all sense. Like, you can simply be a leader by being a badass client and helping your mom do it alongside of you. You can be a leader just by showing up every day and proving to yourself, and in turn letting other people do the same thing. So I just want to share like a little bit about how my team like portray, like we're still pushing for 5-star, like that's what we're going to be. But also in my vision and my journaling, I'm writing 5-star, and I'm also writing 15 leaders. It's a rough one. I don't know. Teething, sickness. We don't know. He's fine. He survived. That was an intermission. Okay, cool. So I just wanted you to sit back and think about your team a little bit. I'm going to talk louder. Think about your team a little bit, because I'm going to first start with the invites. So we're going to start by, why the hell do we invite? Why do we have to do this? Why do we have this negative connotation behind it? And how do you get from I get to invite people to do the same shit that I'm doing, and something that's really working for me and I fucking love. I love waking up every single morning. I love having these workouts in, so today I woke up not feeling very well, so I did yoga instead. But all day today, I thought, if I'm going to feel a little bit better, I'm so excited to push play for 20 minutes just when I get home. I'm so excited. And it was something that I looked forward to and I was excited to do. So I get to share that excitement with other people. So it's starting to change that thought process of what inviting looks like. And then it's not just this blanket invite. Like, I'm not just posting a story, or I'm not just posting a post that says, hey, look at me, I flex and I have biceps, join me. I'm actually going in and I'm specifically inviting my people. And why is that important? Because if you're having a party, okay, say you're having a party and you want to invite the whole street or whatever, you put up a sign or whatever, or even if you see your friend having a party and they don't one-on-one invite you, or that you just hear about it on Facebook or something. Okay, you're probably not going to go, or you're not going to feel super welcome. You're not sure. You thought you were friends. What should you do? But if that person were to reach out to you and actually invite you and be like, hey, I'm having this party at my house. I'm having salads. Feel free to bring pasta, whatever. Do you want to come to my party? And that one-on-one invite. It's way different than if you just do this blanket, hey, I'm having a party at my house, come like this comment or whatever, or like this post or whatever that looks like. You might get your people that do that. Like I know for me, I will invite myself to things that I'm excited about. So you might get people like me, but you're also going to miss those people that like me 3 years ago were just sitting in the corner in the background like, oh yeah, I don't fit in. I'm not welcome there. They didn't talk to me. It's not about me. She said everybody can come, but I can't come. So it's just like, why are you limiting yourself and your circle to just the people who are like pushing in that sense? Like, why are you limiting yourself to that? So thinking about that one-on-one invite as being so damn critical to your business, because it's critical to your party. All right. And then how do you get excited for that party? You have to have a freaking party. So every single month you have to have a challenge group. You have to have something different. It doesn't even have to be like this whole ordeal. It can be 3 people in a Facebook message thread. I have found so much success in those in the last couple months. It's dumb. Like I don't even plan them. They just happen. And I'm more excited to check in to my Facebook message thread than I am to like this consistent sweat studio that I have, because it's like, there's the camaraderie. We're talking about it. We're failing. And we're also like celebrating. We're pushing each other and so forth. So I go on and on and on. So what's that party look like? So this is December for me. My party looks like a 21 days of giving. It's a giving away party. Okay. I'm just giving gifts all the time. That's all that's happening. But I've had actually struggled to have a way of portraying that. Like, how do I get people excited for that? And so that's something I'm working through. So even if you're having an amazing party and you're super stoked for it, there's still going to be work and things that you have to think about. Okay. So it doesn't just come easily if you have this party, but you do have to work on doing things that make you excited. I remember back in March, I did an Earth Day challenge group. That was one of my favorite challenge groups. I literally just went live and talked about all of the things that I use that are like earth and like reusable friendly. And I had a blast. And there was only like 3 or 4 people that commented on a bunch of stuff, but they commented on everything. And they were just like me. They were obsessed. So I found those people right there. So that's why the invites are so important. And I will throw in a little piece there about how, okay, well, what if you know that person doesn't need it, but you don't, first off. And 2, the most surprising people need this. There's a reason that we have to like portray ourselves as feeling okay, feeling fine if we're missing a piece. There's everybody has their own reasons why this is worth it for them or why this could change their life. So I encourage you to figure that out. I love the saying when someone was just like, okay, I'm having a party, I'm inviting all these people. And Susie next door is just like, oh gosh, she's having a party and she's inviting one-on-one. Wow, I'm not interested, whatever. But until Susie next door starts paying my goddamn bills, I don't care about Susie next door. Okay, she's not paying my bills. She's obviously not coming over to hang out. So she's not helping lift me up in any sort of way. So the fact that Susie really doesn't like me in my party, I really don't care. And I think that's something that we need to like think about. And it's hard because you'll say like, I really don't care. And you have to say that aggressively because you do care because it hurts your heart. So then you have to really think about the fact of Susie's working on her own shit. She's doing her own stuff next door and just kind of let her do that. And that's okay because she's letting you do it. She's just talking about you behind your back to some people we don't even know. That's totally fine. All right. So off of the invites, I'm going to start into the conversations. Yes, I love it. Fuck Susie. So I'll go to the conversations next. It's kind of what the main part of this call was supposed to be about. So, and if you ever throughout this video, if you have questions, just comment, even in this video. And hey, Liz, and just comment in this video or like on this post because I'm going to share this and I'll go in and I'll share your conversations there later. All right. Cool. Okay. So I'm going to go into conversations and how I'm in my messages and having a blast in what I do. So basically I'm talking about things that I care about. So this was something that I always struggled with as I would like comment on someone's shirt being really nice, but I also wasn't super into fashion or like clothing. So you have to be talking about things that you're excited about. And for me, it happens like right now in these moments, it has to be about like the horse that's a pain in my ass outside that I have to feed because it's cold. The baby that's a terrorist that you just heard screaming a little while ago. Like these are different things that are like interesting to me and a part of my life right now. And so those are the things I'm talking or connecting with my people about. and I'm having like sincere conversations. But also, if they're in my stories or if they're commenting on fitness posts or sharing any of that, I am inviting them sooner than later, because I don't want them to think that like I'm just grazing by them. And these are actually my other people over here who are doing these like fitness and challenge groups with me. I want them to know that they're important because they are giving their time on their social media to watch and connect with my stuff. Like that's a huge deal. When you're scrolling, like the fact that you stop and like hit a heart nowadays, like that's big, because we're just so programmed to just go with it. It's just a part of our habits. We're not even on social media half the time, and we're not even aware of how long it is. So just really taking, I'm gonna like start to strip, but really letting that sink in, how the people that you're connecting with are literally taking time to like stop and look at your page, or to stop and like or comment or anything. Like that is a big deal, and really appreciating that. So what my conversations look like. Okay, so if I have somebody brand new who comes and follows me on my page, I haven't connected or found them at all, and they follow me on my page. Literally what happens when they follow me on my page, I reach out to them and I'm just like, hey, thanks so much for following me. I would love to know what brought you to my page. My name's Crystal. I have a 1-year-old that runs my life. Let's see, I'm a dog mom and also super into health and wellness. Just wanted to know if there's anything on this my page that really resonated with you, or just kind of figuring out a way to like just connect with them right away. They came to your page, they walked into the storefront. Okay. Say there was someone that I followed and then they followed me back. Then that conversation would look different as like a new friend. Like, hey babe, so glad you're here. I love connecting with new people on social media. I seen that you're 36 weeks pregnant. Holy balls. I remember that stage. I remember that season. How are you feeling? How are you doing? So connecting with them about that piece. So that's if someone follows me back that I had originally followed. And then as far as like just going in and connecting with my people in general, because I like to go through my friends list and make sure that like no one's forgotten, especially once I get through all of my likes and comments. I like to go through that. So then I will kind of like blend those two statements or things that I just shared with you together. It'll just kind of be like, hey, just popping in. We haven't talked before. Unsure how the hell we haven't, because I love so-and-so about you. My name's Crystal. I do virtual health and wellness. I'm a stay-at-home mom who also works on the side, just trying to make it all, just trying to make a good balance of being super busy, since that's what I'm used to, but also knowing that presence is a big effing deal to practice. Any of that resonate with you? So things like that are kind of how I'm connecting with my people and just being sincere. I try to share a big, weird, like big part of me right away, so that they know that this isn't like just kind of a blanket like statement, if that makes sense, because I'm making it kind of personal to what it is that they're like. If they have a ton of dogs and maybe a niece, then I'm not going to talk to them about how like, isn't mom life so hard? Because they're not a mom. Like that's not where they're at right now, and that's fine. And they might be one day. Try not to get lost. So just kind of making sure that like I connect with them on that same level. Okay, so what else do I have? And then so then once I do get to that invite post, so we talked in the beginning about inviting, right? So then we have these conversations, and when I do get to that invite, it still is very similar. It's literally just talking about my party. Hey, I'm having a party this December. It's 21 days of giving. It's something that I'm super excited to do. We do it every year. I team up with a bunch of coaches and we give away dope ass prizes every single freaking day just for showing up. Have you ever thought about doing any of these fitness programs with me? Or so if I knew like a backstory, it would be like, are you ready to dive into your nutrition with me? And also win shit for taking care of yourself. So those sorts of things. So like if I've been talking about them and I knew it. And then kind of wherever that conversation takes me, my main priority is figuring out like what their main priority is. Okay, so maybe they don't have time to do meal prep, or they are constantly overeating, binge eating, sweets, emotional eating, those types of things. Then I'm going to steer them in the nutrition direction, and that's kind of where our focus is going to be. I'm going to talk about this shake that I usually always kind of focus on the fact that it has adaptogens and ashwagandha in it, because that's what I used to supplement when I was doing depression management before Shaco. So I love using that piece for that. But then I'll also kind of steer it in the fact of like curbed cravings. Like I drink mine at 2 p.m. But that being said, if somebody talks to me and their first meal is at noon because they're too busy, I'm going to be like, okay, you're actually going to have a shake at 10. So you kind of start getting your body moving. I like those little intermittent fasting chunks, but unless it's intentional and they're not binging on pretzels at 11 p.m., I kind of looking to find some balance right in that eating window in the middle. But then I'm also asking them questions like steering them more towards fitness. A lot of my people are into fitness. But they're into fitness, but they need help with nutrition, which makes it really hard because I'm way into fitness and like nutrition. Let's just figure it out as we go. So that's been something that I've had to push myself around to, because a lot of my people already know fitness. They're not consistent at it, but they also know how to move their bodies really well. So that's kind of where my conversations will spin to, and my invites, just like breaking the ice, will move in, or my conversations will move into the invites and that like breaking the ice moment, if that makes sense. And my invites look pretty different every month. I kind of just use the same. I have a keyboard shortcut in my phone. I save it in there. It's the same little, like, I do the word invite with 2 eyes. So when I type that in on my phone, it auto generates. And then once I like start using it too much and changing it up a lot and like the whole thing's new, I'll go and I'll just replace it. So I'm using keyboard shortcuts on my phone for those invites when I do that. And then my follow-ups, and this is funny because these are something Tracy just asked about earlier, but then my follow-ups are something similar on like turning it back to me. It's not about them. So like if they don't respond to me, it'll be something along the lines of, hey, I know I lose messages in here all the time. Don't want to bug you. Just popping back to see if you seen my message above, because I literally just have, there's 4 days left to get on this. And I know that there might've been some interest from you and we'd freaking love to have you. So some kind of an invite that turns it back to me on how like I haven't followed up and I know that life gets busy. So that's basically what my follow-ups look like. And yeah. And then as we're starting to get into that conversation piece, before I have anybody like sign up or like talk about that, I always like, if we haven't talked about the supplements too much, I definitely want to break that ice first and say, have you ever used any kind of supplements in the past? Or do you have any issues? Like, how do I word it? Like, have you used any subs before in the past? Or do you have anything against a superfood shake? That's how I word it, because I want them to know that like there's subs involved in all of this. So those are what the conversations look like. Specifically, if you guys have any questions on that, but basically the reason that this is so important is because kind of how Danny shared a long time ago, when you ask somebody a question, they often want to write 3 sentences and they give you 1. So it's really just that thought process of asking them questions about them. It's not really about what we're going to like pour into them. We're going to get to that point eventually. But as you're connecting with your people, it's really just, what are their pain points? What's freaking stressing them out? Like, is it the fact that when their baby cries that like they freak out because they don't have enough time to like be mentally present or stable because they haven't had any kind of mindset support in who knows how long? Or is it that when they go to work out, they like are so overweight that it hurts and they don't know what to do next, or kind of different things like that. And so forth. Okay, just working on words and how to approach and respond to people is my weakness right now. Yeah, do you have anybody specifically that, or like any reply like you're in right now that like specifically you're just not sure what it is about? So for example, I have this girl, I wrote a post. It was funny to me. I don't share these a lot, but something was, what's the last thing that you bought online? It's your weapon. Your weapon for saving yourself and something is the last thing you bought online. And mine was a pop socket. And I thought it was really embarrassing. And like 3 other people commented, and then somebody else said a pop socket. And I was just like, okay, you got to be effing kidding me. So I messaged this girl and I was like, first off, how many pop sockets do you own? Because second off, this is like the 3rd time in my entire life that I bought a pop socket. I think it's so waste of time, but they're so important to my life. Why do you need this pop socket? She's just like, what the hell is wrong with you? Like, I just thought that maybe no, but she was just, she's like, oh my God, I know, like, blah, blah. And we just went down this ridiculous thing of pop sockets. And then randomly, as we're having conversation, she's just like, you're a fitness trainer, right? I'm like, no, I'm actually a yoga teacher turned fitness coach. And she's like, well, what does that mean? And so we've been talking for like 4 days. And the first day that we started talking, I go to bed at 8:30 every night. The first day that we started talking, I kid you not, I was texting this girl back and forth until like 10:30 at night. And I could have stayed up later. And I was just like, this is a terrible idea. I'm so tired already. So I like broke up with her that night. I was like, okay, I need a break. But we've been chatting for the last 3 or 4 days. And it's just, and even like her last message was, okay, well, what am I going to do with nutrition? And she's like, are you sure you want to work with me? I'm pretty needy. And I'm like, you have everything that you will have everything that you need. So if you just need to ask me questions, I am fine with that. So kind of just sharing a little bit about like that's what I'm in right now. The more you listen, the more you learn, and then guide in the right direction. Yeah, exactly. Especially because the total solution pack is so big. I remember that is a big reason that Danny didn't want to start in the middle, because in the beginning, because it had nutrition, it had your fitness programs, it had the accountability. And she was just like, I'm just overwhelmed. I don't want any of it. I just want nutrition help. And how do I do that? And I'm like, just close your eyes to all the other stuff. Like, just focus on the nutrition. All the other stuff will come eventually, maybe. So yeah, definitely. I love that list. Cool. And I'm just kind of scrolling in my messages just to see if anything pops into my mind. Or I had one girl that, and this is kind of just random, but she signed up and kind of ghosted me for a few months. And I literally just was like, hey, you're obviously you're really busy. I just wanted to reach out to you and let you know ask if there was any other way that I could support you. I just want to make sure that I help the next person. And I feel like I dropped the ball on this. And she just replied that it had like nothing to do with me, that she's going through this stuff and so forth and so forth. So who knows where this conversation is going to go, but it's opening that door back up to like real communication, instead of I was just some random girl she happened to sign up with one day. Because that's not really what it's about. Like, I really am looking for results and to support these girls. And what in the beginning, we started this call with envision what your team looks like. And we were kind of talking about how many girls, what do we have, right? And it can be guys. Like, this team is yours. These connections, these conversations are people that are exciting for you, and they'll look different for all of us. Meaning, I came across a girl who complimented my workouts in February and noticed that she would join me if she was there. And notice she said she would join me if she was there. Then I told her it's all virtual, we have check-ins. I can send you more info if you're interested. And she said, wow. So how would you approach that one? And she said, wow. So if you gave her all that information and she just said the word wow, then I would just respond with, maybe I would do a funny face, but I would just be like, yeah, what is so exciting for you? Which piece of that is most exciting, or what? Let's see. So she said she would join me if she was there. So you were doing a workout and she complimented you on it, said she would join you if she was there. I told her it's all virtual and we have check-ins. I can send you more info if you're interested. And she said, wow. This is actually how I would respond. It would be like, haha, wow, as in send me the details. I want to sign up yesterday, or haha, what the hell does this mean? Or wow, what the hell does this mean? That's actually, I usually like always start with haha, because I'm just awkwardly laughing even on a text message, which doesn't work, and that's just me personally. So I can type that in here. Along the lines of, that's kind of what mine would look like in that sense. And then too, thinking about like getting people in your team. It's interesting how I transitioned from, it used to be, I want to sign people up because I want to build my business and I want to do this and I want to do that. Whereas now it's transitioned to, if I don't sign these girls up, they don't come into the community. If they don't come into the community, they don't keep the fire under these other girls' asses that are in the community. And slowly the energy starts to get lost and people start to get lost in their way. So honestly, nowadays, every time a girl joins, anytime somebody joins the team with us, it's not even for me. I need that girl to join because I need to make sure that she helps me keep inspiring these other women. And then in turn, those women will inspire her. It's literally this ripple effect. But I mean, like the fact that I have like a 1-year-old mama working out for 8 months in this group is just like amazing to me, or like all these different things that keep people going, because sometimes I look back and I'm just like, I have no idea why I kept going. But then when I look back and I kind of see like how new people have done the same thing that I did, I'm just like, thank freaking goodness. And when you start to like feel the energy start to kind of drain out of your challenge groups and you're like, oh shoot, how do I keep this going? Do I do a giveaway? What do I do? If you just keep putting in new people that just keep igniting your fire over and over, you're going to keep the fitness group alive. I mean, and that's kind of the biggest reason, like one of my biggest whys right now of getting people to join the community is because like, I want to make sure that it just keeps staying vibrant and lit up for them, not for me, not for my ego. Nobody outside of this group knows what our team looks like inside. So it's kind of released that aspect, which being selfish was kind of a fear of mine back in the day. like making everything about me and having my ego involved and all this stuff. Whereas now, like, it's not even something that I think of. I'm literally just trying to pump the group full of exciting women who have struggled, but who also know like what it feels like to be super vibrant, super bold and loud, and like have embraced that. They know what it feels like. Maybe they've lost it, but they're coming back to that place, because that in turn, like I mentioned, kind of lights everybody else up in the group. Like, it can't just be me waving a flag. It has to be like a whole bunch of cheerleaders. And sometimes we don't even know what we're cheering for. We're just cheering because we're there together. Oh, you haven't spoken to her since February. Oh, I would just do a new invite then. I'll just do a new invite. Let's see, February, that's a long time ago. She said virtual. I would do something along the lines of, hey, I never heard, no, I wouldn't even fucking say that. I would just invite her. Hey Liz, hey Liz, I have a 21-day giveaway group going on this month, which I'm sure like you have no idea what that means because I just made it up. But literally we're just checking in with each other every single day, following a fitness and nutrition plan to make that's flexible enough to have holiday fun, to hold us accountable and have a blast together. Would you be interested in joining and doing it with me? Have you ever thought about doing these work? Yeah, she's already thought about it. So I would just say, would you be interested in doing that with me? So I would do a brand new invite. Yeah. And I've done that before too. Well, people just get lost in the cracks, and then make sure you write her name down so that you can go back and you can check through your list. Cool. I think I told you before. I don't think I was recording, but invite and follow up until they block you or they're dead. I don't know. That's what works for me. All right. Anything else? I am trying to think if there's anything I want to leave before I stop the recording, but those are kind of my basics. And there is in the team page and in the Beachbody On Demand, there's a coach access group. No, not that one. There's a new coach group. I have conversations. There's like a conversation school like template that you can get ideas from if you're ever looking for that. But we have a chat thread for our team leaders. So honestly, just in that chat thread, every once in a while, somebody will be like, okay, send me your invites. Mine are stale. And we'll all just invite each other in that group and listen to each other. Do you write down every person you invite or just the ones who respond? Every person I invite. I write them all down. But I have 2 different systems. So if I'm just on Facebook, yeah, if I invite them, I write them down because I'm only inviting my friends. So they're already my friends. Whereas Instagram is a little bit different. I use folders for that. So I don't write any of them down. So if Instagram crashes, I just lose it all. In the team page, I believe, yeah, Team Wild and Blooming, and then it's also in Team to Rise, is one of the guides is about like conversations and invites and just examples. All right, I'm gonna stop the recording. Oh, no, that looks like I was gonna end the meeting.